Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Brett Williams, and today we're going to go over my note type in Anki. In my last video, my sentence mining workflow, where I went over the tools that I used for my sentence mining, mostly Migaku tools. You're going to also see a lot of those tools used today. I said that I would do a video on my note type because some people are interested in it. So if you haven't checked out that video and you're interested in sentence mining, I'll link it down below. But today we're just going to talk about the note type and how basically my cards look. So first, let me show you what the note type looks like, because it is a little bit convoluted. It does have a lot of information on it, and it might not be for everybody. So here's what the note type looks like. This is my sentence note type, and then this is my word card note type. Sometimes I'll make cards with just the word on front, and sometimes I'll make them with the sentence on front, but always I'll have the context on the back. I almost never make just a word card. We got the sentence here on front. We've got no pitch accent, no nothing. If I'm able to read it or not. Then when we flip it over, we've got the sentence audio from the show, from the sentence mining. We got the word audio. I'll show you how to process that later. That's automatically added. We've got the sentence without pitch accent, and then we've got the sentence with pitch accent processing. That way I can kind of look at them both if I want to. Right over here I have the focus word. This is the one vocab, the one element that I made the sentence card for. Because as you guys know, when we sentence mine, we generally pick sentences where we understand everything in the sentence except for this one element. And this is what that one element is. Over here, I have some kanji information on the kanji that's contained in the focus word. Now, this stuff is automatically generated. You don't have to type this in yourself. This would be a waste of time if you had to type it in yourself, because I hardly ever use it. It's just there to kind of glance at. I'm not sitting here testing this information. I'm not sitting here every single time looking to see what other ones it's in. But if I feel like I want to strengthen the memory on a kanji in there a little bit better, I'll glance over here and be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's also used in that word. Oh, that's the same one. And then this is the RTK keyword. I'll also show you guys later how to customize this information so that you can have the information that you want. You can have RTK keyword, you can have English meanings, you can have vocabulary, or you can have nothing. So, yeah. And then over here, we've got monolingual definition area, bilingual definition area, and then also commonly confused. Sometimes I'll get words mixed up, like maybe it uses the same kanji, and I think like, oh, it's actually, shindyaku instead of yakudatsu. If that happens, I'll add that word to the commonly confused so that I can easily compare the two and look at them kind of side by side and consciously think, okay, that's how they're different. Try and remember that next time. I don't harp on it for too long. Like I said, most of this stuff is just for me to glance at, kind of become aware of it, and then move on. And then I also have a notes area where I'll take context notes sometimes if I feel like the sentence is kind of like ambiguous enough that later on I might not fully understand it. I'll just take little notes on exactly what's going on so that future stupid self that has forgotten the show and forgotten the context can be like, oh, that's right, that's what was going on. That gives me a better understanding of how this is being used. And that is basically my note type. The last thing that I'll add is there's a field down here, use audio, where I can put anything in there. If I just put anything, it doesn't matter what I put, just put an X, it will change the note type, so now the audio is on the front. So that is my note type. It's a bit, like I said, it's a bit convoluted. It's not going to be for everyone, but for people that do like the way that I have it set up, I will show you how you guys can get this all set up and working. So if it looks good to you, stick around. We'll go over that now. So down below, I will provide you guys a link to this folder, and this folder will have this thing. This is not a profile, this is actually a deck, so you can just load it right into whatever profile you're currently using. When you open this up, you'll get something that looks like this, okay? You're gonna have less cards in it, there'll just be one card each so that you guys get the note type, but you will have all of these decks. So what this master kanji deck is this is actually what holds all the information for the kanji information. So all of this information is pulled from that deck. So you need to keep that somewhere, but you don't ever use it. And the reason that I recommend splitting it off into a separate deck is because that way, whenever you go in here and you're like affecting cards in your study deck, you're doing something in your study deck, you're not selecting those cards. It's separate. Once you load it in, these note types are in there. Okay, they're already going to be ready to go. But this probably is not going to look like this. It's probably, unless you no, you're not going to have it set up. So this, you actually need to download a couple add-ons to get the coloring to work and to get everything to look nice and to get the audio feature working. And the two add-ons that we're going to use specifically for this are the Migaku Dictionary add-on and the Migaku Japanese add-on. The Migaku Japanese add-on is what's going to add like all of the pitch accent processing, allows you to hover over for the furigana and stuff like that, or for the readings. One thing to keep in mind is that Migaku develops on a cycle. So you can't use the most recent version of Anki always. You have to go to Help, go to About, and check and make sure that this version right there matches the current development cycle. This might change by the time you guys see this video, but just make sure that these two match. If they don't, you can download the version that is currently in the development cycle here. Also, I'm not going to go over how to use these add-ons completely, but down here, Usage Guide, I will give links to these two pages, but down here, the Usage Guide will give you a quick start guide. This will teach you how to actually use the add-on properly. I recommend going through it, learning these two add-ons in and out. They are really useful. I use both of them every single day. I couldn't live without them. I love these tools. So if you want to use this note type, I recommend getting them and learning them. But I will show you a couple things that you guys will need to know in order to get it working with my note type. So basically, you just go here, install the Migaku Japanese add-on, install the Migaku Dictionary add-on. Basically, all you do is you go down, you get this code, you copy that code, you go to Tools, you go to Add-ons, you go to Get Add-on, and you put that code in there, and it downloads it. Then you guys go through, like I said, you go through and you use the quick start guides to learn about it and stuff like that. But couple notes for the Migaku Dictionary add-on. You need to get dictionary files. Now, it comes with some dictionary files, but I don't really like the dictionary files that it comes with, so I'm going to provide you guys with a pack of my favorite dictionaries. The dictionaries that I'm going to link down below basically are taken from Matt's Yomi-chan Dictionary 10-pack, but these are my 5 favorite ones. 2 bilingual dictionaries and 3 monolingual dictionaries. So 2 dictionaries that are in English for people that haven't done the monolingual transition, and then 3 dictionaries that are my favorite monolingual dictionaries for people that have converted. But the main thing I want to talk about with regards to the note type is setting up your fields. So I have a monolingual definition and a bilingual definition field here. And basically what you want to do in order to get it to play nice with our note type that we're going to use, you want to go here and you want to go right here and select monolingual definition for all the monolingual dictionaries. And then down here, when you get to the bilingual dictionaries, you want to go to select and choose the bilingual definition for the bilingual dictionaries. That way, whenever you send a definition, it will go to the proper field. So if you notice, I sent a monolingual to the bilingual to the bilingual, and I sent and if I go up to one of the monolinguals, when I send that, it goes to the monolingual definition section. So that way we can split them off nice and easily and we can look only at that, and then if we need the help, look at the bilingual. But as far as learning how to use this, getting the dictionary set up and all of that that aren't specific to my note type, make sure to check out the quick start guide so you guys learn how to use it. Now let's talk about Migaku Japanese add-on. Again, not going to teach the whole program, but just the things that are really important for getting it to work with my note type. Once you have the Migaku Japanese add-on, you might have to restart Anki. We need to set it up so that it plays well with our note type, so it knows what fields to process and how to display them. So we go to here, Japanese Settings, and then this is the Migaku Japanese add-on settings. The main thing though is going to be active fields. Here is where we add all of our processing. This tells us how we want each field to be processed. For example, let's see, what is this? Expression marked from the sentence note type. If we remove that and apply, and then go to Dex, and then come back, notice it doesn't look nice, right? We don't have this information as hover. It doesn't add the coloring. It doesn't look like this. So that's why we need to set these up in the way that we want to set them up. So if you guys want the settings all set up how I have them, all you have to go do is go back to the folder that you downloaded, check out Migaku Japanese Fields, copy all of these settings, go over here, go to Tools, Add-ons, go to Migaku Japanese and double click on it. That will bring up this section. Now this is very important. You don't want to highlight this. You don't want to highlight that up there. All you want is between these two fields. When you first install it, it might look like this, I'm not sure, or it might have some fields in there and look more similar to this. But you want to start at the end of the last one, not over here. At the end of the last one, go all the way up to the beginning. Make sure you don't include this top one. You don't want to remove that bracket, and paste. This will, you also want to make sure that there isn't a gap here. Just make sure that that's all tightened up. Make sure it looks exactly like this. You have this bracket up here, active fields. You have all of this down here. You have all of this stuff filled in, and then hit OK. Once you do that, if you close Anki and restart it, then all of the processing should be in place for my two note types. Now, if you have other note types that you want to add, you guys will have to read the quick start guide and figure out how to add that stuff yourself. But for my two note types, just copying and pasting that information in there will get all of the formatting all how you want it. You can also just copy the settings that I have here if you want to pause right now. But I think the copy and paste is the easiest way to do it. And then you can customize it from here, you know. But this sets up all of the hover and kanji stuff how I have it. Okay, there's a lot more features of both of these add-ons, so like I said, I recommend you guys go check it out. But that is how it pertains to my note type. The other thing that I want to talk about is processing. So when I add a new card, okay, so if I add a new card, let's say I go, you know, kill all right, and let's say the word is tinky. Actually, what I can do is I just look this up in the dictionary. Sorry, that was my fault. Look this up in the dictionary. I can add to the definition. I put the focus field in. If I want a bilingual definition, I add that. I can add some notes. You can add pictures, you can add audio, all that stuff. Okay, so from this field, what you can also do is, as long as you set it up properly, this doesn't come with the default add-on. You have to actually install the pitch accent feature. And like I said, go check out the quick start guide to figure out how to do that. But if you have it set up, you just hit this, and it adds word audio to your card. Go through my sentence mining workflow to see kind of like how you can do this much better. I don't want to focus on making cards right now. I just want to show you guys the actual note type. But once you have that and you add it, let's say I made a bunch of cards through my sentence mining. Well, basically what I like to do is, so if this is the new card we just made, right? Tenki. But the new card does not have any of the stuff. It doesn't have the blue. It doesn't have the focus field here. It doesn't have any of the kanji information or anything like that. This is kind of how I add it. is I'll select all the cards that I made for the day, and usually I put this in a separate deck and then move it into my active study. I'll have in a holding deck, I'll have a sentence mining deck that I make cards into, process them, and then put them into here. But I just select all the cards that I made for the day, and I go up to edit, and then if you notice, Tinky does not have kanji information. So once I go up here, I go to edit, bulk add RTK keywords. This is the add-on that I'm going to show you guys how to set up later. But once I do that, once I go to Tinky, now it has all of that kanji information there. And when we check the preview, now it has all of that kanji information there. So we have to process the rest of it. Now this was a different add-on. Now we're going to go to generate readings, accent, and audio. This is the Migaku processing. So what I do is I click off graph, I click off audio, and I have the furigana dictionary form and accent. I go from expression to expression marked. I usually overwrite, but maybe add is safer. And then I execute. You want to make sure that these are right though, because you don't want to overwrite any information that you don't want. From expression to expression marked, execute. And then that will process. Then I'll go up, same thing, generate. I click those off. I go from focus to focus marked, overwrite. Now, luckily, I think in future versions of the add-on, I think Yoga or Lucas is going to add it so that these things are automatically processed when you make a card type. But for now, I batch process them. So hopefully in the future, you guys won't have to do this, and this will be automatic as well. But it's really only takes a couple seconds. Then I click off graph, I click off everything but audio, and I go from focus, because that's our focus word. This is what we're focusing on. And I go down to word audio. And then I overwrite, execute, and now in our brand new card, now I have the word audio, I have the focus field all marked up so that I know the pitch accent. I have all the kanji information, and I have the sentence with the pitch accent. And that is basically all you do. And then you just study it, and it's like that forever. So you're all good. So that is the Migaku Dictionary and Japanese add-on and how it pertains to my note type. The last thing I'm going to touch on is the kanji. How do I get the kanji? How do I set that up? Well, once you have this deck, I've already filled out this deck. Don't use the one that's on the add-ons website, but just use the one that comes with the pack, the deck that I had you download. Put that into a holding deck somewhere. And then what's also going to come in there is kanji info files. Kanji info files are modified versions of that add-on. So when you go to the add-on, which is Kanji Eaters, and I'll have a link to this down below. Kanji Eaters Heizig RTK Reboot the Kanji. This is the add-on that I basically just slightly modified. I'm not really a coder. I know very little coding. What I did really isn't impressive. All the credit to Kanji Eater. He's the one that made this possible. All I did was go and, kind of modify the formatting a little bit. So make sure you install this add-on. Again, same way, get the code, download it. And then you want to go find where your add-ons are. So you can, on Windows or Mac, just where are add-ons on Mac, on Windows for Anki. And then just find out where you can find the add-ons folder. So for Windows, I have a shortcut to it. It's C users, then your username, app data, roaming, and then Anki 2. And then you go to add-ons, and then you want to go to this code, 1855482626. Okay? It's the same code as the download code. Okay? So find that folder and go into it. And then what you want to do is you want to take these files, or whichever one you want, and add it in there, because the default isn't going to behave how you want it to with my note type. Okay, the default is going to require all sorts of setup and stuff like that, but all you want to do is take the one that you want and add it in there. Now the one that you want depends. Here's the one that I use. The one that I use is kanji followed by some Japanese vocabulary example that uses that kanji, followed by RTK. Now, other options that you can do, although you can customize this however you want, but I've made 3 other options. The RTK only shows the RTK keyword, okay? So if you look here, it will only show this, the RTK keyword with the kanji. So I'll have kanji, RTK keyword. RTK plus English meaning will have kanji, RTK keyword, and then in parentheses smaller will be the English meanings. So there's multiple meanings, but those are translated meanings. Basically, once you figure out which format you want, do you want just the RTK keyword, RTK with English meaning, just the English meanings, or kanji, Japanese word, RTK? Like I said, I use this one. So then you take it, copy it, come over here to the folder, paste it in, and then change this to backup, and then change this so that it's just the RTKKW. Make sure there's no space here. Make sure that you can't click like that. Make sure it's just that, and then close it. And then once you restart it, it will follow that formatting. So it'll give you the information that you want. And you can change this however many times you want. If later you want to add Japanese words, or if later you want to go and add the English words, that's completely fine. All you have to do is just find the format that you want, replace the file, and then come in and select all the cards that you want to replace with the new format. Come up here, bulk add RTK keywords, and now it replaces it with the new information. And as you can see, if we go up here, it's got all the formatting and stuff like that, because that's how we have the Migaku Japanese add-on set up. Some notes on that: managing note types, you need to keep the master kanji for add-on. Don't touch this. Don't change anything in it. Don't change the name. If you change the name, it's not going to work anymore. If you delete this deck from your Anki profile, it's not going to work anymore. Just keep this as is. And that's pretty much it. Last thing we'll touch on. Sorry this is so long, but it's a lot of information. But last thing we'll touch on is how do you convert to the note type? All you do is all the ones that you want to convert, they have to be the same. So you could go over here. This is how you select note types. Select your old note type. Select all the cards that you want to convert. Right click, change note type. Now, it's not going to look like this. Both of my note types have the exact same fields. So if you want to go from refold Japanese expression to refold Japanese word, it's very easy, because all you do is you change note type. You go from word to expression, choose, and hit OK, because all of the fields, every single one of the fields, match up perfectly. They're all exactly the same, okay? The only thing that... the main thing that you need to keep in mind, though, is that your old note types that aren't my note types are not going to be that way. So you want to click on them, look at the fields, and think like, okay, kanji, I want to go to focus. The official meanings field, I want to go to bilingual definition. So figure out what fields you want to go to what, write them on a piece of paper, then select all your cards, go to change note type, choose the note type you want to change it to: refold Japanese expression, refold Japanese word. Choose it, and then you just select it. So you want to change kanji to focus. You want to choose RTKQ to go to word audio. You want to change official meaning to go to nothing. I don't want to transfer that over. Basically, you just choose which fields you want it to go to. You hit OK, and it will process it and change it to the new note type. You might have to restart Anki afterwards, but that's it. The last thing that I'll say is always, always, always back up before you do any of this. Sync, and then go to File, Export. You don't need to include media. Export, backup, Friday. Export it. Don't do media, because that will just take too long. export the data, and the media will still be there as long as you do not go to check media. If you check media and accidentally delete the media, well, then you're screwed. Although you could still download it, hopefully, from the server, but don't mess with it. Wait until you know everything's good and you're ready to sync it before you do any type of check media or anything. But if you mess up, all you have to do is just double click on that backup, replace your old folder or file, and now you're back to where your backup was. And that hopefully is it. I know this video was long. I know it seems convoluted and complicated, but once you get used to it, it's very, very easy. And the biggest learning curves are basically learning the Migaku Dictionary add-on and the Japanese add-on. But those I think you should use even if you don't use my note type. I think those two add-ons are amazing, and I think they're just going to keep getting better. So definitely check those out. I'll include links to them down below, so make sure to check out the tutorials and learn how to use those two add-ons. Make sure to get this add-on and then interject it with whichever one of my modified versions you want. And that's it. But let me know if you have any questions in Discord. But please, 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 please make sure you watch this video like a few times. Make sure that you're following everything exactly on point and doing everything that I say in this video before contacting me. I get a lot of DMs, and I love to help people that are genuinely lost. But please, please, please try and solve your own problem first by watching this video very closely and following the instructions very closely. So that way I can help as many people that really need it as possible. All right. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, let me know if you are enjoying the note type after you've used it for a while. Good luck.